You're welcome back to our math class for today. We'll be looking at word problems in subtraction. Remember that last time we looked at the word problems in addition, and it was a very wonderful lesson. But today we'll be looking at the opposite of addition, which is subtraction, and is in word problems. Let's look at this question on the board, and it says a shopping center has an 8-meter roll of a particular fabric. They have an 8-meter roll of a particular fabric, not all the fabrics in the shop, just a particular fabric. The first customer buys 125 centimeters of the fabric, and the second customer came to that same shop and still wanted that particular fabric of 3 meters from same fabric roll, right? Now the question says, how much fabric is left on the roll once the two customers have taken theirs? Now, in this kind of lesson, learners can always be encouraged to make a picture or a visual picture in their mind and all that, or they can even use a paper to sketch it for them to be properly, for them to understand what the question is saying, right? Now, for us to solve this question, we are going to start from what we already know. What do we know from here? Solution. Before I write my solution, what do we know from here? You can see that the material, the set fabric already is in meters, right? The first customer buys in centimeter, and the second customer buys in meters. That means there are two different units, and for us to solve, we have to convert it to either meters or centimeters. We have to use a particular unit. Now, looking at meters and centimeters, we already know that meters is bigger than centimeters. And going from the bigger number to the smaller one, you're going to multiply. From the bigger unit to the smaller unit, you will multiply. But going from the smaller one to the bigger unit, you divide, right? Let's look at this. We have solution. Eight meters. If we have 1 meter, we know is what? 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, right? Because 1 meter is bigger than centimeter. Therefore, 8 meters is going to be what? It's going to be 8 times 100, which will give us 800. This one already is in centimeter. We're leaving it that way, and then we'll have our 3 meters. 3 meters will still be 3 times 100, which is 300 cm. Are we there? So we either use it this way, 800, 300, and 125 centimeter. Or we are going back this way, we are going to have 8 meters, 3 meters, and 1.25 centimeter, right? Depending on how you want to solve it. Meters. Depending on how you want to go about it. You either go for the meters and use this, or you go for the centimeters and use this, but you're going to use a particular unit to solve. Now, let's solve it. We have the roll of fabric is what? Remember, our solution is here. The roll of fabric is how many? 800 centimeters. Remember what I said, you can either use 8 meters or centimeters, but use one unit to solve, right? First customer buys. First customer buys how many? 125 centimeters, because it's already in centimeters, so we don't convert it again. Then the second customer buys, where is it? That's 300 centimeters of that same material. because it's a lovely material. Therefore, what is left? What did they buy? Remember the question says, after what they have taken, what is now left of that material, that said material? After what they have taken, what is left? So you're going to do, you add these two together and take it away from the 800, or you do 800 take away 125 and also take away 300, right? So we are going to have, therefore, material left or fabric left will be 800 take away 125 take away 300, all in centimeters, right? Which is 125 plus this 300 is going to be, let me see, this is 800 take away 425. 425, right? Remember, all in centimeter. We have to always use our unit. 800 take away this, we are going to have 0 take away 5 is 5. 9 take away, we have 7, and remaining 3. So our final answer is 375 centimeters or 3.75 meters. 375 centimeter or 3.75 meters, as the case may be. Any of these two is correct. Hope you enjoy the class. Let me give you an activity as usual. See our activity. A logistic company needs to deliver 20,000 packages of weaving. On Monday, they delivered 3,985 weavers. On Tuesday, they delivered 2,405 weavers, more than what they delivered on Monday. Now the question says, how many packages are left to be delivered? Remember, the total things they need to deliver is 20,000 packages. They delivered this on Monday. On Tuesday, they delivered 2,405 more than what they did on Monday. How many packages are left to be delivered? I hope you enjoyed today's class. Thanks for watching. I want to see you in the comments. Bye-bye.